Hi, Zizaran here, and today we're talking Forbidden Sanctum, the upcoming Path of Exile 3.20 patch. This is going to be like the TLDR. If you want to see like the full reaction with me and Steel Mage or the patch note reading, you can check out another YouTube videos. This is going to be like cliff notes and boiled down things. And yeah, a lot of unexpected things. Honestly, my favorites as a quick TLDR, honestly, the chase uniques. And we're going to go over things in detail later. So hope you guys like my cliff notes for the 3.20 upcoming.
Many have met their fate here in the shade of Foul Shrine.
So first, let's talk about the league mechanic of the upcoming league. It is a roguelike game mode. So not everybody knows what a roguelike is, and some people might have heard roguelite. So a roguelike, every single run is completely unaffected by any other run. There's loads of like small upgrade things throughout the run, and you have like progression. Now a roguelite is, for example, something like Hades, where things you do in one run will affect other runs. And that is basically what we're going to have here in Path of Exile. We're going to have that one run is going to affect other runs. You'll be able to get future upgrades. You'll learn more as well. Like you will improve as a player, but you will get like some like semi-permanent upgrades, it seems like. Kind of like, in Delve, right? That you are upgrading things and moving towards something there. Very, very interesting game mode. We're going to have like rooms we're going to go in. We can save up to 8, which is a total floor. And each temple thing has 32 rooms. So you would need to do 32 maps and you can save up one floor at a time and then go through it. Now, this is a really, really interesting mode. You are actually expected to die and retry many times. And you can actually die, it seems, where your HP goes to 0, you lose your hardcore status, or you lose experience if you're softcore. But there is also a failure thing, similar to like, an incursion. When you run out of time, you're just teleported out. Well, in this, you can run out of a new health pool. It doesn't seem like they've focused too much on actually dealing damage to your character, but you take a new type of damage. It's called Resolve. Your player health bar will still be used, but it didn't seem to be that much. Chris said he only died a few times when he wasn't paying attention. You can't just make a regen build and live forever. You will run out, especially early. And that sounds really interesting. So honestly, the entire game mode looks a lot like Hades, if you have played that. And it seems very heavily inspired by it. This looks very fun. It has its own progression mechanics with like Aureus coins, Resolve, boons. You're able to get buffs inside the Sanctum, and you're able to get a really, really rare buff that just affects everything. It's just like an extra little gear slot now. And we've seen some powerful things, including just being able to permanently get Leaf Shade. And then you get powers. Some that'll give you upsides, some that'll give you downsides, and you fight bosses and you get rewards. And then you guys know I love risk reward, right? It's what I want every league. Like, give us some clear risk reward. Now, something that's really cool is, look here. You have the options between A, taking a reward for this floor, right? And remember, you can save up so you have 8. And then we saw things with like, 18 chaos per room. Well, for one room, if you finish the entire thing. And that builds up with 32, right? Even if, let's say, 32 times 18, that would be 576. Wait, yeah. 576 chaos if every room had at least that as the final one, because it's not like you just get 18 for doing it. That's one room at the end, but you do lose everything if you fail. So that is very cool. That'll be very, very cool clips on softcore and hardcore of people losing these things. So honestly, I don't think I've ever been this excited for a league mechanic. And honestly, there's quite a lot of leagues where just the league itself hasn't really been the exciting part. The league itself has kind of been a little meh, but this time, I love roguelikes, so I'm personally very excited for this, and I have high hopes, which I try not to have too high hopes because that's scary, but this time I do. Now, I do wonder a little bit how this works for me as a hardcore player, because this seems a little bit, especially with the extra new health bar, that doesn't seem related to your defenses, and I tried to ask that, but the question didn't get asked. How does this work with tanky characters versus glass cannon? Because this seems like just super favoring very mobile, very glass cannon characters where you're just bursting things down. Or will my defenses actually count? They did mention that melee counts, like melee will take less damage, but yeah. But next up, we'll talk about the Atlas Revamps. That looks very spicy. We will get more information, and I will make a video reviewing that when all of them are out. But boss nodes are no longer present. There is a bad thing with that. So the Shaper Guardian, where you get him low and the second one appears, that is temporarily gone. They've already addressed this as an issue and something they want to bring back into form, maybe even as early as next league. But whatever. At least they've acknowledged it already and they understand why it's bad. And I think they're fixing a really good problem. The problem they wanted to fix is that if you wanted to switch between mapping and doing bosses, especially like normal bosses that you want to do pretty regularly, you're kind of like encouraged to save up instead of respecing like dun all the time. It's fine for the Ubers because not that many people are doing the Ubers. And if you're doing the Ubers, you're probably hella rich. Just for like any mandatory boss content. Like for example, if you want to do Elder, you have to have the extra chance for a Watcher's Eye. And that's just on there by default now, right? And I think that makes a lot of sense because you would just be stupid if you were doing Elder without it. So I think this is a really good change. On top of that, we've seen that a lot of things like Breach, Expedition, Harbinger, Legion, loads of things have way more nodes now. So it looks like we're getting a lot more power on those things. And obviously we have more nodes to spare too because we're not speccing so much into boss nodes anymore. I kept a lot of those nodes all the time because I'm SSF. And it's kind of hard to respec a lot. This looks very exciting. Very, very hyped for that. Obviously on SSF, most likely going to go Super Harbinger. And Harbinger gets a new currency orb called Fractured Orbs. It can fracture a rare item with 4 mods. So 1 mod can get fractured. Very exciting. And I hope it has a decent drop rate, especially the first league. I want to fracture a lot of items. Crafting is in a really bad spot right now for SSF. I know it's self-imposed, but I have a hard time enjoying Trade League. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried because crafting is in one of the worst spots it's been, I feel. For the Atlas memories and more endgame, they've revamped the system, making them more powerful and giving more specific rewards. And Bestiary can now give you insane harvest beasts. Some of these like sounded insane, so I'm very excited for that. Like one of them is this thing, reroll a Watcher's Eye modifier. And there's also like new shrines in the Atlas memories for domination that they said we're gonna have. I don't remember the word they used. Auspicious rewards? Auspicious means favorable, apparently. So auspicious rewards. So they are removing Archnemesis, but not really. They're basically reworking it and not calling it Archnemesis again. They are a lot simpler and a lot weaker than Archnemesis. Should be a lot more impactful and engaging. The difficulty curve should be better and easier to understand. If you were playing a super meta build, they were already not that bad, but obviously some builds were affected more than others. We do have a video talking a little bit about this anyway. And honestly, one of the small changes that was so big to me, and it's something I've been begging for. Literally, we've been making like mock-ups and showing to them and be like, please put this in the game. Normally, if you have like 3 energy shields, or even if you're just a hybrid build and you're taking chaos damage, your ES is moving. It's covering your life bar. And I look at the one above my character, and your life goes to down and you die. And that's been so bad, especially with 3 energy shield or Zabaqua builds. And I've been like, why do they not just have an ES bar above the character as an option? And that's finally in the game now. Years of begging. I'm so happy. Very excited for this to finally be in the game. And next up, all the changes to uniques. Steel was like, do you think all your whining helps this happen? I was like, I hope so, dude. But I was also talking about disfavor. But then disfavor is... oh my god. Dude, so okay, I whine a lot about chase items. I love chase items and I want strong uniques. I think that's cool. Oh my god, dude, so many cool reworks on uniques. Disfavor, Starforge, Voidforge. There's several others. Voltaxic, the Blood Claw with the instant Vaal pack leech. Dude, so many things are like way viable now, especially early game, especially mid game on SSF. Like so big changes. Like obviously rares are always going to dominate like very late software trade no matter what. But like these are so cool, both early game and mid game changes. 10 melee range on Disfavor. Disfavor has been moved to Uber Aziri again, which I think is really cool because now Uber Aziri is like jacked. Loads of good loot for farming now. I wish they would do something with the ring though. But I'm gonna stop bitching for a little bit. There's loads of cool things to farm right now. And Voltaxic Rift is reverted finally after like 100 years of being 60%. It's 100% conversion now, making it more attractive for things like Valspark, but also just a really good Lightning Arrow build. And so many bosses are more exciting to farm now. Honestly, I am so excited about the Void Forge build. Now, some people are like, oh, but it's not that big because it's lost the fist increase. but it is that big for anime weapon. Because I can't remember exactly. We were theory crafting with like pretty mid ghastly jewels. It was like 10 or 15 million DPS. Now, anime weapon builds, even though they say they're 10 to 50 million, they're slightly less, right? Because some of the weapons, they're in the back or they're doing something weird, having a smoke break. They're not all attacking, right? So if you calculate 10 to 15, probably 70% of that. But that was with the 300% increase, and that doesn't get affected that much with the fizz part because you're getting fizz insane amounts from the ghastly jewels. If you're able on softcore trade to roll all of these, like tier 1 plus some other good stats, you can get some fucking insane damage on the new Void Forge, I'm hoping. So I'm very, very excited. Um, it's a hard build to pull off on SSF, but it's cool to have goals. I try almost every league to look out for things like that. It's just very hard, very, very difficult. But it'd be definitely a dream of mine getting a really good Chains to Command Void Forge build off the up and running again, because I've done it before. I do think that unique items is always very hard to stay relevant in PoE, just because our rares are progressing so much. There's so much power creep, and we get stronger, monsters get stronger. You basically need to just update them very often if you want them to stay relevant, if they aren't already offering something that's super unique, which is kind of tricky to do on weapons. Balance changes. What balance changes? I mean, that's the really bad thing about this patch. We are yet again not seeing a big meta shakeup. I don't know why. There are some nerfs, some that are fairly fair, that are trying to equalize the game a little bit. Obviously, Seismic gets nerfed a little bit with the Coated Shrapnel being removed, and a lot of jewels are being removed. The one I'm the most upset about being removed is Replica Conqueror Efficiency. It's one of the most feel-good jewels in the game, so fairly sad about this going. A lot of things are being more accessible in a way by vaulting gems. Things like Rain of Splinters exist there now. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I was hoping for more buffs, more nerfs. I like making a lot of changes. I would want I'm okay with slightly more buffs than nerfs, but I do like when there's just changes. And some people mention like, oh, well, it's good for people to have comfort picks too. Yeah, but does the comfort pick need to be the same build for a year and a half? Seismic's been a comfort pick for a lot of people for a long time now. And then I think Steel mentioned that the reason that is not that big a deal and most people don't care, it's played like 0.8% on software, right? It's mostly like the racers, hardcore SSF players and stuff that care. So I guess it's not a big issue for most people. But I think everybody does want a meta shakeup, or most people anyway. We are getting new skills and obviously some item changes and some other changes as well. So it will change it a little bit. That's probably the worst part about this. That definitely disappoints a little bit. We are getting new Vaal skills. So honestly, with all the new Vaal skills, all the new skills, that alone should be pretty exciting. Vaal Smite and stuff, Vaal Molten Strike, Vaal Blade Flurry. I always used to joke when they would finally add Vaal Blade Flurry. So overall, also I played Calandra very little. I think I played between 200, 300 hours. There was no gauntlet this league. I basically played a little bit of the normal league, and then I played BPL and some events. So it's the least I've ever played a PoE league in the last like 10 years or something. I think that was very healthy for me. I am extremely excited. I love roguelikes. They did so many things that I wanted in the game. Like, yeah, I would love to get more balance changes, but you know what? I'm excited. I think some people will care a lot about the no balance changes, and maybe that means that this league is a skip for them. But for me, you know what? I have so many things I'm already looking forward to doing. I'm just sitting here like, dude, how am I going to get all these ghastly jewels for my Void Forge? And how am I going to get the Void Forge? How rare are these new items going to be? So, I'm honestly very excited. I think it helped a lot that I barely played Calandra. It was not a very good league. Yeah, everyone in my chat seemed pretty excited. I would love to think what you guys say. I would love to hear what you guys say. What do you guys think? Are you guys hyped? How important do you feel the no balance changes is? Are the new skills enough for you? Are the new Vaal skills enough for you? Either way, I hope you all find something you're looking forward to this league. On an end note, they did talk about Ruthless. I'm not league starting Ruthless. I'm either going group found or duo found with Steel or Hardcore SSF. Those are my options. Ruthless is not an option for me. I could see myself playing Ruthless like a month and a half into the league when I'm bored with the normal game as a fun novelty mode, but it's not something I would main. It is fun though. It does make you appreciate the game a lot more. That's probably part of it too. I just played Ruthless, so the normal game is gonna feel like amazing. I'm gonna actually have items and stuff and support gems and auras. So yeah, I'm very excited. I hope you guys are too. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Sub if you liked the video. Almost 200k subs on YouTube. That's crazy. Thank you guys. And try to die less than I do.